Hi. Um, so the last couple of videos I decided to do right at the beginning of parenting, pregnancy, perinatal depression, then on to postnatal depression. And I've been thinking about what direction to go in next. I felt we were about a week till Christmas, and I thought it can be a tough time for those going through mental health issues. Tough time of year. It can be even tougher as a parent. So I thought maybe now was a good time just to talk about how it is for me. I think the biggest thing for me is it's a feeling of dread. So many memories of not so great Christmases, etc. When you're feeling a bit down anyway. It can be harder. One of the things I've learned through my anxiety and depression is bottling it up doesn't help, makes it worse. So I made a conscious decision that I was going to do my best to try and not bottle it up, try and talk to people, seek help when I knew I was struggling. And I'm getting there. I would say I still have my times when I'm reluctant to be reaching out because it's a feeling of failure when you're struggling again. Becoming a parent hasn't changed that view as such. I still believe you've got to be open and honest with people, even if they don't want to hear, if they don't really want to hear deep down what's going on in your life. If they ask you, be honest. If they don't want to know, they shouldn't ask. So I wanted my son to grow up with happy memories for Christmas. I didn't want him to be getting to Christmas Day and feeling how I feel. And it's not just memories, there's other things as well that makes Christmas hard, like bereavements and missing people, and particularly this year when we've had the coronavirus going on, the COVID-19, and a lot of people have been missing people. a lot of people be making the decision to not spend Christmas with wider family to keep them safe. And as much as they've made that decision, doesn't make it an easier thing to go through if you're used to having that family around. Yeah, so when my son came along, I made the decision to ensure that he had happy memories of Christmas Day. I decided that Christmas Day would be the one day that I'd wear the mask again. And I call it the mask because basically it's like putting on a mask, hiding how you feel. I'm sure some of you can relate to that you feel like people don't really want to know, so you put on a mask and, oh yeah, I'm fine, I'm doing good, yeah, it's great. Christmas is particularly hard for me this year. Not as bad as last year, but I've had my medication increased. And that's the thing, I think you can, if you listen to your body will tell you what you need, what you don't need. It'll tell you if you need to increase medication, decrease medication, come off medication, go on medication. It'll tell you if you need to talk things out with a counsellor, which I really recommend. I found personally, when I'm really bad, medication really does help. When once we've got the right type and the right dosage. A lot of people think it, once you're on antidepressants, it should be an instant fix. It's not. And the idea of the medication is to give you a wee platform to lift you up so you can put in the hard work of working through whatever's causing your depression. For a lot of people, maybe not everybody, but for a lot of people who have mental health issues, it can be a bleak time of year. For some, it can be lonely because they don't have any family or friends around. For some, it can be memories of loved ones who are no longer alive, wishing that they were there to celebrate with you. It could be memories of traumas, past traumas. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to be on medication, and I think it's quite hard for me times when I see myself having to go on them, go up a dose, etc. But I have realised that for the benefit of my son to be able to have that enjoyable Christmas, to have his mum functioning fairly reasonably, I have to accept that's what I need. And it's not easy. I think people think, some people think if you've got mental health issues like depression, anxiety, whatever, and you stop functioning, you're neglecting your child. And it's not always like that. I mean, for some, it can completely numb them that they are oblivious to how their actions affect others, which is not entirely their fault, and they're not well. I've always had that inner fight voice, I guess. Clinging on to something, whatever I think will get me through. Like my son having an enjoyable Christmas, my son being happy, my son being fed, my son being clothed. And when I've been really bad, yeah, I can appear like I've neglected myself. But I can assure you, my boy is never neglected at all. The last thing I can manage to cling on to is to ensure that he survives, so that he's not growing up with childhood traumas or bad memories or things like that. I'm not saying it's easy. There are days when I feel like curling up in a ball and disappearing. My son will be 7 in January, and I try and explain to him as best I can for a 7-year-old or 6-year-old that mummy's not well, and sometimes that means mummy can be quite sad sometimes for no reason, or sometimes missing people that are dead can be a lot harder than other times, or different things. And I tell him I'm trying my best, and I ask him to have a little bit of patience with me. And he's great. He just takes it in his stride. Maybe some of you are watching this and thinking, what are you telling a child that about that for? We found that if we weren't open and honest with our son, he would still work out there's something going on. And it had quite an effect on him. There was one time I was having bad stomach cramps, and I wasn't talking to him about it. I felt he didn't need to know what was going on. And then one day he just wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, didn't want to do anything, just wanted to lay in bed. It was the day of his last visit to primary school before going up into P1. And it was also meant to be his last day at nursery. I thought it was nerves from going to visit the school. So I says, right, let's try 5 minutes at the school. If you're still feeling like this, we'll give our apologies to the school and we'll head home. So we went along. We got inside so far and then he refused to go any further. So we eventually went home and he went up to my husband and I's bed and lay there all day. And then about dinner time, we eventually got it out of him that he'd been worrying about Mummy's ouchy tummies. In that moment I decided, whatever's going on, I will find a way that's appropriate for his age and stage to explain to him what is happening. And I feel that's more healthier for him because he does sense when my husband and I are not ourselves, when we're not 100%. So to try and keep him in the dark clearly has a knock-on effect on him. So, Christmas. I appreciate for some of you that it will be a tough day. I wish you all the best for Christmas Day. I wish you some peace. I wish you some happiness, some strength. And just be there for each other. Because if you're struggling, chances are other people are too. So, on that note, I think I will leave you. Thank you for listening. If you're finding these videos helpful, please remember there's a subscribe button and a notification bell. And they will let you know when I'm uploading new videos. And feel free to put comments with feedback or questions. I'll put some links in the description as well for support over the Christmas period. Thank you.